Hey guys, what's up? Nick here from Mastering Purpose, here back with another tutorial. In this one we're going to be going over this old timer car and showing how to put a reflection underneath it with this cool gradient. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'll get started with the tutorial. Okay, so we're back here with Photoshop open, and basically I've just got this car, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all these different layers. And actually, before we get rid of them, let's just go ahead and put them into a group, and we'll just call this archived. And let's go ahead and get the original old timer car. I'm going to pull this up, drop it up to the top here, and we'll disable this layer. So this is the original car that I had, and it's just no background, transparent around the outside. There's only one thing, there's just a little cut off here with the tire. We could easily fix that if we wanted to, but that's not what this tutorial is about. So let's go ahead and start working on this. What we're going to do is we're going to take this car, and first what I want to do is add a background so I can kind of see what we're doing and give it some depth with background layers. So I'm going to put a new layer on here, just call this background, and trick that let me turn my keycast here on for you. There you go. Trick I can show you is to make sure you have this white and use Alt and back. That will fill the layer, drop that below the car, and that puts it on a white layer. Okay, so now we're going to come up here and we're going to duplicate this layer, and I'm going to use Control T to put this transform on there, and we're going to right click and go to vertical. What that does is going to flip the car right upside down. Now I'm going to hold Shift and pull this down, and I want to line up the tires kind of where they're basically butting up against each other. I can rotate this just a little bit to line them up, and if I even needed to, I could use arrow keys to move my layer up or down. But I want to make sure that they're touching, and I want to make sure that this layer is below the first one. So we'll just call this, actually we'll call it reflection. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this background layer and add a gradient map. So this is going to give us a chance to kind of blur out this on the bottom, and so we'll just go to gradient map, or you can go to gradient. Let's go ahead and do gradient to make it a little easier. We'll do this, let's see, this black and white looks pretty good, and then we'll mess with that for a while. So let's click OK. Now we're going to add a layer mask onto excuse me, we're going to add a layer mask onto this reflection, and that's going to give us the opportunity to go and use a gradient. So this, you want to make sure this is in your toolbar. Use G, and you can start moving this up to start fading out the car with the layer mask. So what you're doing is you're actually removing certain parts of the layer with the layer mask to make it not visible. So if I just keep pulling this up, we can see that it looks pretty good. I can also use my brush, a real soft brush, to come around the edge here and just kind of soften it up. And let's keep going around here, and I just kind of make like a rounded shape there, and I don't need too much to make the reflection, just to make it pop off of there. Now what we can do is go back to our gradient fill and double click, and I'm going to click inside my gradient. I'm going to pull this over to make more black in the scene. So if we go over like this, you can see that we've increased the amount of black that's in the back layer. So now I can click OK and click OK. That's going to make this pop out even more. And we can go to this reflection. We could take the opacity down just a little bit to make sure it's not brightened up so much. And if we go about just right there, maybe 30%, then you can always take this reflection and move it around if you needed to position it. But that's pretty much it. So you could go through with your brush and go back onto this layer mask here and kind of refine it just a little bit, soften up your reflection. But I think that looks pretty good. That gives you the effect. You could even change your background if you needed to, or anything like that. So that's all for this tutorial. Don't forget to watch in 4K. I keep forgetting to remind you guys that at the beginning of the video. Watch in 4K. I continue to put these out because I want to kind of future-proof the videos and give you the highest resolution possible. So that's it for this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.